What is up, guys, girls, and anyone else listening to us? Welcome to another episode of Once a Project Podcast, brought to you by me, your host, Brandon. Joining me is my beautiful host,
Jackie.
Joining us is a very special dude. Had a long time waiting for this to happen. And it's oddly enough, we met through Instagram.
Yep.
And so, bro, thank you for coming in, first of all.
Of course, I appreciate the opportunity, bro. This is awesome.
This is sick, dude. And yeah, present yourself, man.
Well, I'm Josh. Everybody knows me as Gilkey, or at least a lot of people in this town do. I lived here, grew up here my whole life. A lot of people played sports with me, socialized with me, go to parties with me, whatever.
Yeah.
And I just kind of moved back and been getting back into the thick of things with a few people, but also keeping
Hell
it myself. Yeah. And got introduced to you by a couple close friends, and
Yep.
I'm excited to be here today.
They know who they are. Shout out to you guys.
Absolutely.
Bro, yeah. I mean, I'm excited. You know, I will say you're the first guest that sits in these new chairs, so I'm glad you like them.
Bro, they're awesome.
I'm glad you feel comfy. That's one of our biggest worries is making sure our guests feel comfy. And then second of all, you brought me a few different gifts, but this is one that I was waiting for all day, dude, since we talked last night. Mm-hmm. And this is something that I was waiting for all freaking day. I'm excited to try this.
And I'm way hyped on this. So I've tried every single one of the Rockstar Zero flavors because there's a zero sugar and it's good on diets. But my friend brought me one of these the other day at work, and I was like, what is that new flavor? Excuse me.
Yeah.
That looks amazing. And she said, well, first of all, they hide it kind of up a little bit more in the section where they stock it. And so as soon as I found out where they was at, I went and got it because they are delicious.
So this is a Rockstar Pure Zero, which means zero sugar. Energy drink, obviously, and it's a pineapple mango, which is oddly enough two of my favorite flavors in the world, huh, babe?
That's crazy.
Everything I get is either coconut, pineapple, or mango, literally.
And the best part about it, it's only 20 calories.
Oh my goodness! All right,
It's amazing.
we're gonna get bougie with you guys, and it's yellow. It looks like piss, but that's okay.
It kind of threw me off when I first opened it up, and I was like, that's a very offset color for being as healthy as it's supposed to be.
I feel like this is a type of color that makes your dick stop working.
Well, that might just be
Too
Red
far?
Bull,
Too aggressive?
That might just be Red Bull.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Cheers, brother.
Cheers. Tell me that's not delicious.
Let me get a second try.
You throw that in with a little bit of vodka, you're going to have a good night.
That's pretty damn smooth. That's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
fucking good, babe.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not going to lie.
Is it?
Rockstar, you know, I've always thought Rockstar would make your dick stop working, but I might risk it with this one.
Well, I'll be the bearer of bad news to you. It might still work, so
Well,
I ain't doing the wrong things.
Shit. Let's get into it, bro, though. I'm excited, man. So, when we talked, we met first. I don't even know how I really got to know you.
Yeah.
Except the fact that I saw some of your posts after I started following you. And I was like, okay, this is pretty badass, man. This guy is like very accountable. And it's hard to find people who are accountable nowadays. Mm-hmm. And once I started seeing you be accountable with more so yourself, I don't think you do it, you know, when you post things about the gym or whatnot. I don't think you do it necessarily to show off.
Yeah.
Or for others to see. This gives you the bubble guts, huh?
A little bit.
All right,
Just
well,
a little bit burpy.
If you smell my breath, bro, take it easy, all right?
Aye.
And so, anyways, I would see those, and I'm like, okay, I don't think, because I can see the intention behind it. I was like, I don't think he does it necessarily to impress others or to have like the validation over people, but more so for yourself of like, another post means I'm accountable to my goal and what I'm doing.
Exactly.
So where does it all begin for Josh?
Well, so a lot of it goes way back, probably 9 years ago.
Yeah.
I had a dream, essentially, that I wanted to join the military. Mm-hmm. And I needed to lose 47 pounds just to join.
Oh,
It
goddamn.
was probably like 47. It was like 40 to 50 pounds.
Damn.
But in order to get there, I had to lose weight, and then I had to maintain that weight while I was in. Otherwise, I would have been disciplined by the military by not making weight. And then it got a little crappy towards the end of my enlistment. I slipped a disc.
Oh, shit.
It was the worst thing of my life, man.
So you were in training, well, you were, before it was like boot camp?
Nah, so this was 3 years into my enlistment.
Oh, okay.
So 3 years down the road, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I want to stay in the military for 20 years, try to make a career, retire one day.
Yeah.
Slip a disc.
Oh, man.
It got to the point where I couldn't run without pain. I couldn't lift without pain. I couldn't do anything without pain in my lower back. So anything core related, it hurt.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even let me do like swimming qualifications or nothing.
Whoa.
It was rough.
I can relate to you in that sense because I've slipped my disc before, but I don't think to the extent that you have.
So, and I slipped it in the lowest, so the L5, which is the lowest disc just before your tailbone. Mm-hmm. And it is protruding out of my spine into a nerve.
Shit.
And so some days it's like, I feel like I can lift 1,000,000 pounds.
Right.
Some days I sleep wrong and it's like, I'm going to be achy all day.
Right. Could you do me a favor and pull that mic forward?
This way or that way?
So grab it from right here and then just literally scoot it in. There you go.
That better?
Oh, yeah. That sounds way better. Thanks,
Okay.
bro. So, because it's happened to me, right? Let's say I sleep on my stomach, right?
Yeah.
I wake up, dude, my back kills. Like my disc, my lower back, which is terrible to begin with. So,
Oh, yeah.
so you slip your disc, and then what happens with the military? What did they tell you?
So basically, it took me so long to get to a point where I could like even do anything that I had missed a certain window to stay in the military and re-enlist with the job that I currently had.
Okay.
And so at that point, I was like, I don't really want to do another job. I don't want to have to go back to training and train for a different job, blah, 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 blah. So I ended up getting out. And in that whole process, I pretty much gained so much weight back because I couldn't work out. I couldn't lift. Anytime I tried to run, essentially because when you're running, you're pulling forward with your strides and the hamstrings were pulling on my back. And it was just hell, man.
How long was your contract when you originally?
Just 4 years.
Just 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So it was right before you had completed your contract with the military.
And so literally, yeah, that happened in 2019, and then I got out in 2020. But so after that, like I had just started to gain weight because I wasn't able to exercise at all.
Yeah.
And I also wasn't watching what I was eating hardly at all. And then I got out and moved to Seattle, and I lived out there for 2 years. And when I was out there, I really just started getting to the point where I was unhappy.
Yeah.
Unhappy as hell.
Was it like an unhappy where your days were like just it had no motion to your days, or was it an unhappy where you felt frustrated? What type of unhappy are we talking about?
I was depressed.
Here?
I was depressed as hell.
Yeah.
Like I was doing everything that I possibly could. For one, I was far away from my family. I had just gotten a divorce.
Oh wow! You're a married man?
Yep.
How long?
2 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it went south. Whatever.
Wow.
But I had moved out there, and after that, I gotten depressed from all that, and then I wasn't working out, and then after that, I got all the way back. So I went from getting out at 205 to weighing 248 at my heaviest.
Jeez. Yeah.
So I got back up to almost where I was at before I even joined, and then I started to just diet. And just dieting took me from 248 to like 240, 239, 238-ish. And then that's when I made the decision to move back here. And I went through another crazy relationship. That led me to one of my buddies that started training me. And he got that spine strong, like strong.
He fixed your spine basically?
Not necessarily fixed it, but he strengthened the muscles around it.
Okay, yeah.
The muscles that are connected to it the most and my core. And got me strong to the point where I could work out again. And that's when I started working out like crazy, like you started seeing.
Yeah.
And so I just started holding myself accountable to the point that, like, if I give up, like, one day I'm not going to be able to pick up my kids because of my back. If my back's not strong now, I'm not going to be able to have those moments. I'm not going to be able to teach my kid how to swing a baseball bat. I'm not going to be able to go golfing with my kids when they get older. Whatever it may be that involves your back, I'm not going to be able to do it.
I mean, and if we just take it out of the context of like physical, maybe not physical, but like just the back health essentially, right? But if we just go to like actual like nutrition too, how important it is to take care of your body now, right?
Absolutely.
Because how old are you?
I'm 26. I'll be 27 this year.
That's what I thought, 27, 26. Yeah, so I mean, I think you're at a time in your life and the point in your body where it's like, your peak is coming up, right?
Yeah.
I think usually, statistically, men like peak at 30, around there.
About, yeah.
So it's important to take those decisions early on, right, of taking care of your body because, dude, I mean, I'm sure you probably share this too, where you want to, be like 60 and 70 and still have a mobile body.
Absolutely.
And feel great. And the only way you get to accomplish that is by, taking early decisions of taking care of your health.
Exactly. And you can probably relate, bro, where you do like, I wouldn't say hard labor, but I'm sure painting isn't exactly like easy. Yeah. And so the military just absolutely beat the shit out of my body, dude.
Yeah.
And so now, like, I'm living with that every day. Like, it sucks. I got aches and pains here and there. If I tweak something, I feel it for 2-3 days at a time. You know what I'm saying? So I really have started to realize the importance of like taking my vitamins, taking care of my body, like recognizing that what I do now is going to affect me way down the road.
Yeah. Well, I first want to say also thank you for serving. You know, Memorial Day just passed, and so to all the people that served, shout out to you guys. Thanks for serving. In the military, what was something that you liked about it, and what was something you didn't like about it?
Man, there's so much that I could say that I like about it. I know a lot of people have kind of like a stank face with the military because they have some bad experiences. But I got to travel so much, bro. Like, I'm very thankful I never saw combat and never had to go to like any crappy places. But like, I got to go to England, I got to go to Japan, I got to go to Norway. And then obviously the camaraderie, man. So I've met some of my best friends in the military. Yeah. I stay in contact with quite a few of those fools probably once, maybe. Like, I was just talking to my buddy Kevin last night.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Kevin.
30 minutes, 40 minutes. And we just texted back and forth, just making sure he was all right, just because I've seen a Facebook post, you know?
Yeah.
And all that stuff that comes back and forth. And then I guess like the bad stuff, more or less just the feeling and the depression of not being able to leave.
Yeah.
Like being away from my family, it sucked. My first year in the military, I was, 2017, 2018. I was in Japan from August to February.
Whoa.
That was my first deployment, my first like
dude, that's clear
far away from anybody type of situation. I missed every single holiday. Very close friend of mine had just passed away just before that, and it was just like, I'm alone on this island.
Yeah.
Man. Fuck this.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like I feel you probably, you know, I don't know, but when you're talking about this, it gives me the feeling of just feeling like incapable, right? Like,
absolutely. You're just at the will of whoever's in charge of you, and it sucks.
Right. Like you're basically in prison, but not prison, but yet again in prison, you know?
Absolutely, because they don't pay you shit either.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. Everybody's like, oh, the military is great. They pay you, you get benefit. Man, you ain't get paid shit.
Yeah? Dude, I mean, shit. I have a buddy who also was who also served, and his story is crazy too, and he talks about that too, like just the friendships he's made within the military are some of his like tightest friends. Like,
oh yeah,
and I can imagine why, dude. I mean, you're with that person 24/7.
Well, you got to think about. I told this to my buddy the other day. One of the key phrases that like helped me get through it is embrace the suck. Like just embrace it. And when you got 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes 10 people around you embracing the same shitty situation, it builds you together. It brings you together. Like when we was in Norway specifically, I remember it being like negative 20 something in this one spot. And they were like, hey, y'all, like, don't get out of your trucks for more than like 5-10 minutes at a time or it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And so what we would do, we would just sit in the car. We were sitting in the trucks just playing cards. Like you could see all this desert or winter tundra like out there just freezing everybody out. And you're just sitting there like, wow, this is shitty. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And you get bored? Do you get bored?
Oh, absolutely. Like when we go to California and train in the middle of the desert, you ain't got no phone service. You ain't got nothing. You got dudes and you got cards.
God damn.
That's it.
Man, I don't know, dude. That sounds rough.
It was all right. I mean, you make it for what it is, and it taught me a lot about life, taught me a lot about integrity, taught me a lot about like being disciplined as a young man, and then it taught me just life lessons that now where I'm at in life and being humble, being in a place where I got to go forth with other jobs, with other people, and also how to like embrace different walks of life.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy too is that some of these guys that come out of the military, they're some of the most successful people out there because of the things you just mentioned that they learn, right? The integrity, the accountability, the being responsible and taking steps forward.
Because think about it, bro. At 18, it's like, hey, you either grow up or you get out.
Right.
Like that's the only choices you have in the military is you either grow up and accept what's coming. And that's what's crazy. Like at 18 years old, you might not see combat. There's a high chance you do. There's a high chance you don't. But like you accept the fact that I could die tomorrow, next week, like next to 6 different people. Like we're doing this together though. Yeah. And you accept that, and then it like teaches you to just be ready for anything that life's got to throw at you.
That's crazy. That's a crazy way to put it. So you were telling me that about your dad, and I kind of want to pick your brain at that because I know we kind of relate with some of the things regarding our fathers, and so. Talk to me about your dad, man. What's going on there?
All right. So there's one person that I refer to as my dad, and that's my stepfather. He was the best dad I ever had. But my biological father is a real piece of work, man. So growing up, he was here and there till 2001, 2002 when my parents got divorced.
Okay. How old were you when they got divorced?
I think I was only like 5 or 6, so I don't remember like a ton of it, but like I remember enough to the point where it's like, all right, cool, like can I go see my dad type of situations. Yeah. And he was a real Disneyland dad. He showed up when he wanted to, showed up with stuff to give me, would only show up for a certain amount of time. I could probably count on one hand how many times he showed up to sporting events in my life. Yeah. Sports were a big part of my young life, and it meant the world to me that someone would show up, you know?
Right.
Shout out to my mom, though, because, like, she really held it down as a single mom for, like 13 years by herself. She just stopped dating. She said, nah, we're going to grow you up.
Damn.
He, back and forth for a few years, and then finally, like, when I was, like, 15, 16, he decided he wanted to try to come around again.
Interesting.
And when he decided he wanted to try to come around again, I was in that teenage attitude era where I was like, all right, this is how it's going to go. And if it's not going to go this way, like,
you don't want
it's the door.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't here my whole life. You can kiss my ass if you're not going to be here on my terms.
How did you, growing up without a dad essentially in the household and getting into your teenage years, I'm going to ask you this question because I kind of had a struggle with it, but how did you deal with you know, you're a man, so how did you deal with the man, you know, becoming a man, essentially, becoming a teenage
It was
boy?
hard. It was hard, man. I looked to a lot of coaches. I looked to a lot of older friends and brothers, and there's a few people in my life, like the dude that I said that was a close friend of mine that passed away before I went to Japan. I looked up to him a lot. Like, I call him my older brother. And there's a lot of people in this town that, like, I consider family that aren't even blood to me because they looked after me.
Interesting. Gotcha.
And so, but a lot of them are like baseball coaches. Like, I got some people out in Seattle that it was really weird. He was my high school baseball coach, and then we played softball together out in Seattle. But him and he was like one of the people that looked after me in Seattle when I moved out there because he was out there, and it was like kind of cool.
Yeah.
But that was one of the biggest ways. I mean, I didn't really have anybody like that specifically that was like on me like every single day.
Yeah.
But there was dudes that was like checking on me, like older brother status.
Yeah.
Because I do have an older brother, but him and I are on the outs because of some stuff he said.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, it was hard because he's 7 years older than me, so we really didn't have like a super close relationship either.
Yeah.
And my mom married a couple different dudes, and they were just real pieces of shit. And so I just did my own thing after. I think she stopped dating when I was 11 or 12. And that's when she just decided, like, we're going to get him grown up, get him out of the house, and then I'll go do something. And that's when my stepdad came along, man. Like, my stepdad came into my life when I was 19. And I told my mom recently, I said, I'm sorry that I was so stubborn about, like, letting him in and letting him come to my boot camp graduation. Yeah. But that's a whole nother story we could get into.
Well, it makes sense, man, because it makes sense in the sense of this, right? You're a young kid, right? Your biological father is in and out of the picture. You don't know whether he's going to come in on fucking Christmas this year or not, right? Essentially.
Oh, absolutely. And it was every year like that.
Yeah. And then you have these other guys who really didn't add any type of value to your mom or to you.
Exactly.
So you grew up with this sense of, like, who the fuck do I trust, right? The only person I can kind of trust, and I don't know how tight you are with your mom or not, right? But would be your mom. Yeah. You know, that's kind of the only person you trust. And then you have your buddies, but you know your buddies are not going to come in and be with your mom, right? Yeah. They're not going to step into that stepfather figure. So when your stepfather comes in and you react some type of way of, like, you know, kind of protecting yourself, it's almost like a automatic mechanism that you grew up with, right?
And by all means, it made my mom and I's relationship 1,000 times stronger. My mom's my best friend, man.
Hell yeah.
We've traveled. We've seen a couple different states together. She came out to North Carolina, saw me a couple times. Like, we've traveled a lot. Like, when I said that I was ready to move home, she straight up just drove her car out to Seattle, grabbed a U-Haul, said, all right, let's go. Move me back home.
Mom.
Yeah, she's
down to earth,
she's badass. But yeah, so my real dad, he just wasn't around, man. And it honestly messed me up to the point that everything I did, I was trying to not necessarily seek approval, but
the validation of
hey, like, if I do this, are you going to come around? Right. If I pitch incredible in this game and make the newspaper, are you going to come around? Hey, I'm your only biological son. I'm going to the Marine Corps. Are you proud of me yet?
Yeah.
And nothing was good enough, bro. And it broke me. It broke me to the point that I didn't realize it until after I had gotten out of the military and I started going to counseling. And I was like talking to her about the way I was acting, how my mentality was shaped. And my counselor legitimately was just like, your whole life you've been trying to be good enough.
Interesting.
And I was like, what do you mean? She just said, your whole life you just have wanted to be good enough. And it's because of your father.
Isn't that interesting? There's people that say that America, that America would be better if fathers stepped up and actually did their work as fathers, right? A lot of the people who are criminals, essentially, especially in the more poverty areas, like like Chicago, some of those areas.
Really anywhere, man.
I mean, even here, I'm sure, right? But they say that a lot of it has to do with that father presence, not in the home. Yeah. And it's kind of strange because you think about it, right? And I share that with you with the Good Enough. When my parents got divorced, I was 12, and so my dad essentially stepped out of my life when I was.
That's a very crucial age too.
17, 16, so just recently, bro. Imagine. Yeah. So mine was backwards, right? Because I don't know what your relationship with is your father now, but I grew up with my father at 12. Things at home started to become, odd. Mm-hmm. There a lot was going on at home. I became the mediator of the house essentially from 12 to 15.
And that's rough at that age, man. That's a position you don't want to be put in as a kid.
Not as a kid, dude. And then 15, 16, I was just smoking weed and fucking trying to get away from the chaos at home. Like everything that just happened. It's like a plane just crashed and I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Absolutely. And see, I didn't even realize that until I was 14, 15, 16. That's what I was running from when I started smoking weed. Those were the emotions I was running from. And I didn't even realize that shit till I was 25 years old, 24 years old.
Yeah. And I didn't realize that until, I got into therapy at 16. And then, my dad actually really kind of stepped out of the picture, around 18. Because from 15 to 18, he was, Christmas, hey, here's $100. I'm like, that's all I get. At least give me 500, shit. $100 is not going to get me shit. But, that was his way of saying I'm in the picture still. But there was no follow up. There was no calls, nothing like that. And up till this day, he knows my wife is pregnant through someone else.
Yeah. Congratulations, by the way. I know I've told Brandon, but that's awesome. Yeah. I'm happy for y'all.
So that's shitty, right? I mean, even till this day, it affects me. Why? Because he stepped out of the picture at such not early age, but the wound is still very, fresh.
Absolutely.
It takes a couple of years to kind of get over, but thank God I went to therapy because that's what I learned, exactly what you learned in therapy, which was, dude, from the age of 12 till 18 or whatever, you've been trying to get your father's validation. Mm-hmm. And you do that through, certain things that you've done or started to see if he, comes around and says, hey, son, I'm proud of you.
Exactly.
Isn't that nuts?
It is. And even to this day, man, I don't talk to him. It's been probably 4 or 5 years since I even have texted him Happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
And even to this day, though, it took me a long time, but once I started hearing my mom tell me she was more, I didn't hear it as much when I was younger. Mm-hmm. But now where I'm at and I hear my mom say that she's proud of me, bro, it literally almost brings me to tears every time. Yeah. It is one of the best feelings ever. And it irks me that I didn't try to build a relationship with my stepdad while he was still here.
Did he pass?
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, man.
He came into my mom's life when I was 19, was around while I was in the military essentially. And then the last 2 years when I got out of the military. And then in 2020, 10 days before Christmas, bro.
Whoa, dude, that's rough.
He got cancer.
Oh, man.
And then in 2021, June, so yeah, literally 3 years ago on the 30th, he passed away.
Oh, man.
But he was everything that my real father never was.
Yeah.
Literally supported me. My mom would always tell me hey, dad wants to buy you a book or dad wants to buy you this. He bought me a smoker and taught me how to barbecue, bro.
Oh, wow.
And that was one of the things that we connected the most on.
Yeah.
Him and I would just have conversations all day about, I want to try this. I want to try that.
Yeah.
And then he one of the biggest things for me, because I was so close to my mom growing up, is he truly brought sides of my mom that I've never seen out and made her so happy to the point that I finally could let my guard down. And then we became close, and it really did. It fucked me up when he died, man, because like,
of course, yeah,
that was the first dad that I had that actually stepped into my life and was a dad.
yeah, and yeah, I mean that's beautiful, man. You know, hearing you talk about that and just, you know, trying to imagine kind of the feeling that you felt with that. You know, I'm not gonna say I relate to that because I don't, right? I haven't had that person step up in my life where it's like a father figure. What I have had is I've met really good people in my life who have given me little snippets of what a father looks like. And I can imagine just, you know, wondering what, you know, I don't know if you ever wonder this, but wondering what would my life be like if I actually did have a dad. Absolutely. For whatever time he was gone, right? From, you know, like you early on or for me later on in my life, you know, just imagining how much more different would it be, right? But that's just a question that you will never get to answer because, you know, time has passed by and it's like you can't buy time back. And so.
And not only that, but you can't hold on to those. Like, yeah, you can think about that and hold on to those premonitions for a minute, but you can't let it weigh you down to the extent that you get in your head over it, because like that alone will just bury you sitting there and think about the what ifs, especially something on so heavy like a father or what a father could have done. And like what it specifically has taught me that I've noticed recently is what my real dad didn't do and what my stepdad stepped up and did taught me like everything that I want to be as a dad. I want to be as my stepdad was.
Yep.
And then bam, like most recently I got in a relationship. She's got a 4-year-old, and holy crap, man, like it's hard at times. Let me tell you, it's hard to be stepdad or stepdad figure sometimes, but everything that he taught me, it legitimately, I feel like he taught me everything that I needed to know about life and then passed away, which sucks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like he gave me a good guideline of, hey, this is how like you should lesson. Be a man. This is how I was as a young man. And
that's beautiful.
I see this potential in you if you be this.
Yeah. And that's beautiful, man. That's a beautiful, you know, lesson to learn in a sense, right? Taking it in that way instead of, you know, dragging you down and putting you in a hole where it's going to take you 10 times more hard work to get out of, where, you know, now you have the opportunity, right, to be a stepfather with this person that you're with, and to this little, you know, human being that's growing up and is like, what is this world, you know?
Exactly.
And I think that's a huge responsibility, and not a lot of men can do that, dude.
It's hard. It's hard, and honestly, all I want out of it, and it's not like I'm going into it trying to be dad, because he has a dad and he spends time with his dad. I just want to be someone he looks up to.
Yeah,
I want to be a role
and that's
model.
the best way to do it, bro. I was listening to this guy talking to his friend who got in a similar situation as you, right? He got with a girl who has like a 4-year-old daughter or something like that, and the guy was telling his friend, right? He's like, hey, dude, like now you're not just the guy who's with this girl's mom. You're the guy who this girl is gonna look up at you and look up at you as a male role model.
Yep.
And that takes an extra step of accountability, responsibility, and just, you know, it elevates, you know, who you are as a man, right? You can't be the same guy you were with the girl who's single, because now there's more measures to take. And that's something that only people who go through that would know about.
Yeah. And that's like one of the things that I put on one of my Instagram posts. I think it was the other day I was pulling my shirt up and I really looked at myself like, wow. Like it was Memorial Day, and it was along the lines of, not only do I have to worry about who's watching me from my angle, but who's watching me from a lower angle, like him. Like my stepkid is going to be looking up to me for a very long time. And so when I'm in the gym, when I'm at work, when I'm outside playing softball, when I'm doing anything in life, I got to imagine a little set of eyes just looking up at me. Like everything, like think of it from an athlete's perspective. Little kids watch your habits. Little kids take after your habits. Yeah. So like, I'm just trying to be a good example.
That's interesting how you see it that way. I never had thought about seeing it that way, from that perspective of like, yeah, there's people looking at me and saying, okay, who the fuck is Brandon, right? And what does he do? But then there's the little guys, you know, the little girls, little guys, looking up to and like, oh man, that's Brandon. Like
That's our next generation.
Yeah,
man.
that's interesting how you saw it how you see it that way. And that's something I think you can only understand if you are ever put in a position of either being like a stepfather, right? Of stepping into that role or having your own kid, like right now with Jackie being pregnant, like that's one of the things that I'm slowly taking in is like, okay, now it's not just about me anymore. Now
Nope.
there's someone else I look after, even though the baby's not here yet. Still, what I do today
But
matters.
it's just like your body, though. What you do now is going to matter 20 years down the road.
Yep, that's interesting. Tell me about your fitness journey, man. I don't know if you hit your goal yet.
So
Tell me where you're at with your goal first.
I'm kind of pissed about that.
Okay. We're gonna get through
I've been
this.
doing awesome. I've been crushing it. Like
Hell yeah.
I got down to 238 just strictly eating good before I started weightlifting when I was in Washington.
Okay.
Then I moved back here. I got down to 222 with our boy that's a trainer.
Yep.
And then he bulked, not necessarily did it on purpose, but I bulked up to 238 again. So
You got down to how much?
222.
Okay,
So
so
I
you
lost
got-
16 pounds.
Yeah, you got back up to 16.
So I went from 248 to 238, just
Yep.
dieting. So I lost 10 pounds eating good. And then after that, lifting and eating good, I got down to 222 and lost another 16.
Which is, I think, when I hit you up because you were trying to reach 215, I believe.
Nah, so this is a little bit ago.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
I got, back in February, I had bulked all the way back up to 238. At this
Okay.
point, I'm deadlifting 435,
Jesus.
squatting 415, benching 270. Like, I was a brick shit house.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, Vinny, like, I know my boy, I'm strong, but now we need to kick it into overdrive. Like, what do I got to do?
Yeah.
So we upped my cardio. We didn't really mess with my diet, but I got a lot more disciplined on my diet. I stopped taking the little tiny snack breaks. I started looking into alternatives as far as snacks and like what I can be more consistent with. And by all means, like, being on a diet is hard.
It's one of the most like disciplined habits and activities, I guess you can call it.
Oh, yeah.
To do. Listen, bro. I'll tell you about my diet in a bit, but finish yours first.
But so one of the things I have really embraced mentally is it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle choice.
Interesting. Yeah. I like
So
that.
you can be consistent, you can eat right, you can eat the healthy stuff, and like once a week, treat yourself.
Yeah.
Like once a week, go get you some good grub. Like this last weekend, my girl and I, we went and got pachangas, absolutely destroyed some
Have you been there,
nachos.
babe?
No, I haven't.
haven't.
I've been in there, but I haven't had
Y'all
their
gotta
food.
go. Their queso is top tier.
Oh my god.
But so I mean, yes, you can have little cheats here and there, but it's all about your mental fortitude, man.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying chicken, rice, broccoli religiously. Like
Right.
there's little cheats. Like you could eat sweet potatoes. That's like free carbs because there's almost no carbs in there.
Yeah.
But anyway, we won't dig deep into my diet. So I got down to 222 after cutting just like all of the crap out of my system and like just lifting and adding more cardio. And so then at that point, we bulked me back up to 238 and we were like, all right, he's super strong. Now let's super cut. Let's go into summer like rock solid.
Yeah.
Got all the way down to like 217 a week and a half ago. And I was super happy because my goal is 215.
Right.
And then I went to Montana. I went to an
Damn
out-of-town
trip to
softball.
Montana.
I went to Montana on a softball tournament trip, and God, man, I drank a lot. And not only did I drink a lot, like one of the nights we ordered like 200 fucking wings.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, it was great. I mean, we had some fun, and then I came back, and that week was really hard for me because not only that, but Monday, my best friend who's been passed away. So he passed away 3 months before my dad.
Oh wow.
Yeah, one of my best friends ever, Gabe Mondock, right there on my arm.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, he passed away just before my pops did. And so that week, the day that I came back from Montana, that was his birthday. And so I was already like down and out and depressed and just like, man, I don't know how to do shit this week. Got myself back into it a little bit, but now that we're like through that week and it's this week now, I'm sitting at about 220. So I really only gained like 2.5 pounds.
Yeah. It's not bad.
But I'm going to keep grinding and I'm going to try to get myself to 215 because, like, honestly, I'm the most comfortable I have been in a long time.
Yeah.
And my diet is easy money right now. I'm just eating some spinach, some rice, some chicken, and mixing it up with a couple different vegetables daily.
How much do you spend on your diet?
Oof. So probably just myself, what I eat, minus like my kid and my girl. I could probably go to Walmart. I make it simple, bro. I cheat. I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's a cheat code. Just go get the pre-cooked chicken fajita strips that are pre-cooked, the Tyson ones. Go grab a bag of them. They're like $6 or $7 or something like that at Walmart.
Shit, write that down, babe.
You get 2 bags of that. That's like $12, and that's like 6 meals right there. That's 6 meals worth of chicken if you do it right.
You know what it is for me, bro? I'll let you finish, but yeah, go ahead, bro.
And then the frozen veggies, bro. Fuck cooking fresh veggies. Like, I know it's great for you and all that. But honestly, when you get to a point when you're tired of cooking, you're tired of the diet, you hate all of the process of it all.
You just hate spending an hour and a half cooking, dude? I hate that shit too.
I ain't got time for that shit, man.
Oh.
I got a 4-year-old and I'm on 5 different softball teams. I ain't got time for that shit.
Holy shit. Oh, and on top of that, he has to work out, dude.
And I gotta work out, and I gotta
How many days you work out right now?
Every
5
day
or
but
6?
Sunday.
Okay,
every
so
day but
6?
Sunday. But Saturday is kind of different. Saturday I just do core and cardio.
Okay, yeah.
So, but yeah, so
thank you for those cheat codes, bro.
Bro, honestly,
when you say this, you know what it is? Because I'll tell you.
Saves me so much time to just pop a bag of spinach in the goddamn microwave for 6 minutes, and all right, cool. Scoop that into the little meal prep containers.
Oh my god, are you listening to this, babe? I need to do this.
Go get you them instant rice packets. You just throw in some boiling water.
No more cooking.
No more cooking. Oh, thank God. You know, because I'm on this diet. I'm not no more because I fucking. When you say mental fortitude, it's literally, guys, it's actually mental fortitude.
Oh, it's so hard. You and I had a conversation about it the other day.
Yeah,
bro.
we did, and you know, I fell off. I'll admit it. I fucking fell off, and I haven't been following my diet the way I should for what now? Maybe 2 weeks, babe.
I think so.
Like
and that's
2 weeks.
Okay. That's okay to let your body take a reset sometimes too, because like I kind of this last 2 weeks I've been like slacking here and there, but I'll say half-assing it. We'll say half-assing it. And I look down and I'm like, why are my abs popping more than they were when I was like, how does that work? But it's good to let your body reset sometimes.
Yeah. And the thing is too, like I had to realize that because you come to a point, bro, I'm sure you've probably felt this where you're like, okay, what's the actual reason why I want to get in shape, right? Mm-hmm. Why am I doing it? Am I doing it to impress someone or whatever, or am I doing it for myself? And for me, it's hard because I'm like, well, I like to look good.
Yeah.
And I love being in shape just because I feel better, right? I feel 10 times better. But there's like if we're like talking like cables, dude, there's like a cut in between me wanting to look good and liking to feel good and me wanting to having like the mental strength, bro. There's a fucking cut there.
Where I get off at 6 o'clock usually, and I either got a softball game or I got something to do with my kiddo. There's some mornings when my alarm goes off at 4 a.m. to go to the gym, and I said, how bad do I really fucking want that 6-pack? And it's like, you just sit there for a minute and you just...
And it's 10 times harder, because I know you probably know this, bro. It's... When you start, right, let's say it's your first ever fitness journey, right?
Yeah.
And you want to fucking lose weight, gain weight, whatever it is. When you start that first time, you're fucking pumped, right? And you get a trainer and you're like, I'm going to follow this diet. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You're pumped and you will do it because of the pure motivation that you build yourself up to, right? But then let's say you stop like we both did, right? Mm-hmm. You stopped when you went to Washington, right? Is that what you said?
Well, more or less about a year before I went, just because I couldn't, man. All I really could do was go to physical therapy.
Yeah. So, I mean, so you stopped and I stopped. Just what the fuck was it, in like January or something like that? January, February, March. Yeah, January. So to get back into it, dude, it's like 10 times harder.
So hard.
10 times harder because you already know what you put your body through. You already know what you have to go through.
Because you know what it feels like to hurt. You know what it feels like to wake up at 4. You know those emotions that you already been through.
Exactly.
So it's just so much easier to just keep going and stop.
Yeah, dude. And that's one of the things I'm like, fuck, if I would have just stuck to my damn
But don't be so hard on yourself, though. Like I told you on the phone the other day, give yourself some grace. Like, yes, we're not 18, 15, 16, 17 no more.
And we're not single where we have all the time in the world. Exactly. We have families now, you know.
You don't get all the time, all the energy in the world where you could go to the gym at 10 o'clock for 2 hours, go home at midnight, sleep till 8 and be good. Like,
yeah,
I got to go to bed before 10:30 or I'm a complete asshole the next day. But this point, like,
and I don't wake up, dude. I just don't wake up. If I don't go to bed, before 11, the next morning, dude, I'm groggy.
Yep.
Don't talk to me because I just.
Sleep is so important, especially when you're working out.
Right? Isn't that something crazy? Because everyone, dude, this is my thing with fucking some some of these like TikTok fitness like people or whatnot. They'll talk about like, oh yeah, diets, blah blah blah.
They don't talk about the hard parts though. It's so annoying.
What about sleep? You know, you can get dementia if you don't get enough sleep.
One of the best things that I have done for myself is I started taking melatonin, bro. Melatonin
every night?
Not every night, just like the nights that I know I'm a little bit more awake than normal. And if I know that I'm going to be maybe staying up a little bit later, I'll just take one of those because I know it's going to help me like get to sleep quick.
You know, I'm going to recommend you a podcast. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I know did you hear it, babe, right? The sleep podcast, was it you?
Some of it.
Some of it, right? Okay, so there's, and I have the book. There's a podcast with Joe Rogan. Do you like Joe Rogan?
I've listened to him here and there, yeah.
Okay. He has a podcast with a guy named Matthew Walker. Okay. And he has a book called Why We Sleep. And that book talks about the importance of sleep, right? And some of the research behind melatonin and what it does to your brain, dude. And so if you guys want to go listen to that podcast, I'll scare the shit out of you. So I recommend everyone to listen to that because people who stay up till fucking 2, 3 in the morning every day, best believe by the time you're 50, 60, you're going to get some dementia. I'm not, you know, you're going to be looking rough. So, you know what I need to buy too, and I heard that's really good for that morning to wake up is the, what are they called? Sun lamps? Morning lamps? It's like basically like it's like this lamp they put beside you, and it wakes you up with like the light of, and it replicates the light of the sun. It's
really I got you. Kind of like the sun's coming up type of thing.
Yeah.
See, I'm kind of like a bougie little shit, and I just don't even have curtains in my bedroom. Okay. When the sun comes up on that side of my roof, and now that it's almost summer, like
it's good.
That bastard comes up, and I'm just like, I hate you. It's my day off. Go away.
Yeah. What's one thing that you carry on to keep yourself going? Like I know it's a lot of it's like mental, right? It's 90% mental and 10% like the actual workout and following the diet. But what's that one thing that keeps you accountable?
Well, honestly, man, one of the biggest things is looking back and seeing situations in my life that have been much harder. Going through boot camp, going through some trainings, going through any situation in the military where I had to be absolutely physical and like train. Like my green belt course in the military absolutely whooped my ass. Like that wasn't crazy hard, but like it was grueling, and they made it like, hey, you're gonna earn this. Yeah. Like that situation. Even just looking at my future, like we've talked about a ton today. Like I now want to work my ass off because one day I'm going to be able to be as successful as possible because I put in the work now. Yeah. And that's not just like the gym's going to get me $1 million. Right. I'm saying I want to be successful now in the gym and teach myself these core lessons and the resiliency of not giving up now. Yeah. Because if I give up now, what's that going to teach my kid?
Right. And what's that going to leave you with? Right?
Exactly.
And you know what's super badass too, dude, is that you meet people who are, you know, in the same boat as you of wanting to be successful, and not just only like you said in the gym, right? It's not like the gym's going to bring you $1 million bucks, but also like in life. Yeah. And a lot of people think success as like a material, you know, things or absolutely money. But being successful in life is 10 times more important, in my opinion, than what you have in the bank account and what you have, you know, and the way you think about it, right? Where, you know, if I start right now learning these lessons and applying them to my life of being, you know, like you said, resilient, then I'm being successful in my life currently. Yeah. But then also is giving me like the guideline to be successful later on in life.
And it rolls into so many more things, like a positive mental attitude and like having a good mental health. Like one of the biggest things that one of my boys out in St. George, he's living out there right now. He texted me kind of the same thing a few weeks ago. Like, how do you keep going? Like what keeps you driven? And I said, you know what? Like I had 3 victories by 6 a.m. He's like, what do you mean? I woke up, I went to the gym. Damn. I completed a workout. That's 3 victories before 6 a.m.
Damn, bro.
You go into your day rolling hot with 3 victories, like, What's
How
to
many more can
say?
you have?
What's to say I ain't gonna get 5, 6, 7?
Yeah. And then let's say you don't get any victories throughout the rest of the day, but let's say you ended the day with 3 victories.
Yeah, that's
Over who? I mean, it's not to compare yourself, but let's say you didn't do that yesterday, right?
Yep.
You got 3 victories today.
You did better
yesterday.
than you did yesterday.
Exactly. That's powerful, man. I really like that.
Yeah.
And it's badass because people that think like you, right, come around your life and you blow up with them, right?
Yeah.
You glow up essentially, and
it's hard, and I'm not perfect, and I've never been like a super driven, positive person like this, and like it honestly took my dad passing away, Brandon, to change and want to be able to affect people's lives and not necessarily just be this little dickheaded kid running around thinking the world was mine.
yeah.
I'm not saying like every day I woke up and I'm sunshine and rainbows either, but like that's what I set out to do every day, is to just affect someone's life. Seeing the amount of people that were at my dad's funeral, I just want to change someone's life every day.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's beautiful that you have that mindset every day. That type of look at life. Many people look at life in very different views than you do, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying and a lot of the views you have, because I look at life that way too, where you can get so angry in a day with life over something that's so small, right?
Something small.
Something
Super
small,
simple.
something that can change in the future, right? Like, you know,
I stepped on a Hot Wheel this morning. I was pissed as shit.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's funny, dude. Yeah, I mean, it's things like that, dude, or like things at work, co-work or whatnot. But when you look at life in the view of what you're looking at it, of almost gratitude, right? Because you got your reality check by your stepfather passing away, and that gave you gratitude, bro, towards life and wanting to better people, through what you're doing, and that's powerful.
And one of the last, I'm getting goosebumps thinking of it and about to say it right now, but one of the things my dad said just before he passed to me, and my mom ended a little banner on a shot glass for me. Life is a gift, man. Just use it. Just use it. Because no matter what you do in life, you just got to be grateful.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
Talking about my dad makes me emotional.
No,
sorry.
I get it, brother. I get it. No, that's beautiful, man. Damn, you're gonna make me emotional. Shit, we're about to start crying.
You just gotta. That's what I'm saying.
But
you just gotta be grateful.
Yeah, and you gotta look at it like that, bro. Because you can stress over anything right now. You can get mad over anything. It's so easy to just feel so lonely, so upset with how life is going. But if you look at it with a grain of gratitude, bro, that little fucking gratitude, and just say, you know what, I'm thankful just to even have shoes on right now.
Yeah, and life can change
like that. But if you're grateful to have shoes on right now, it's going to make you feel 10 times better.
Yep. Life can be stressful. Life can be, oh my God, that bill's coming up. But you know what? Right now you got a roof. Right now your stomach's full.
Yep.
Right now your clothes are clean.
Yep. And that's dude, I got this bill yesterday from the hospital, bro. And I was like, where the fuck did this come from? And I hate the fact that it just comes like 5 months after I went to the hospital.
Yeah.
And I could get mad at it, right? Excuse me, and stressed. But I think about it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I owe like $6,000 at the hospital. Yeah. That's a lot of fucking money. I have a baby coming, this job that I'm having, I'm only going to get to a certain point where I hit the ceiling, right? And I'm kind of even there almost. So I'm like, okay, I can look at it one or two ways. One, I can look at it and see I'm stressed, I'm pissed off, get mad at my wife, get angry with life, and fucking just let myself go down. Mm-hmm. Or I can think about it and say, okay, well, I'm not the only one that's going through this.
Yep.
People are going through it way worse than me. And thank God I have a job. Thank God I have a supportive wife. Thank God I'm doing something to do better, with the podcast. And you know what? I'm going to do it the best I can. And that's, if I can only give $25 payments, $50 payments, they either take it or leave it. Mm-hmm. But that's what I can do. And if you want that, great. If not, you're going to have to wait, you know, and that's fine with me. Is shit. If it hurts my credit, it hurts my credit, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
But that's what I can do. And I'm doing something with my life right now so that hopefully in the future, I don't have to worry about not having that $6,000 to pay that.
And
right?
we're so young, man. We ain't got to have it figured out right now.
Exactly.
We're at the point in our life, man, where people, the generation that's here now, think that we got to have it all figured out. We got to have the answers. Like,
you got to be a millionaire by 25.
Yeah, and they think that it's possible that everybody can just do it. Wham, bam, bam. Like, it's not happening like that.
Yeah.
You got to work for it. And like you, for instance, growing up in kind of an unstable home, me as well, like, we had to figure this shit out on our own.
Thank God we had those people in our lives that made us be good, right?
Yeah.
Imagine where we would be right now if we didn't have just those like little role models, bro.
Man,
holy shit.
I'd probably be pissed off at life.
Fuck, I don't know where I would be, bro. That's kind of scary to think about.
Yeah.
What's next for Josh Gilkey, bro? And what do you want to accomplish within the next 2 to 5 years? Tell me. I mean, whether it's a business, whatever it is. What's up with Josh Gilkey?
There's a lot on the plate and in the future for me. So currently, I just accepted somewhat of a opportunity. My boy started up a nutrition company alongside of his training.
We can say the company's name of the nutrition company.
Okay, so Shredded Nutrition is popping off.
Shout out.
True Fitness is the training company.
Training program. Shout out.
They're amazing, great family, great people, great team to be alongside of, and they selected me. I was the very first ambassador that they ever selected.
That's right, yeah.
They wanted me to represent their brand, so I'm promoting their pre-workout. I'm promoting their BCCA or BCAAs, and eventually, low plug here, we're gonna have some protein. We're gonna have some other things like creatine coming out.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna have a lot more swag coming out. But I got that opportunity, so that's. And that's not for me to try to just boost myself up. I'm trying to boost him up, trying to boost his family up, trying to help him succeed. I'm just helping because I wouldn't say an influence, but like you said, you looked at my posts and it inspired you.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I had my brother was cutting my hair today. He said, some chick called me and said, she sees you getting your hair cut all the time, so you must cut good hair, so she's going to come get her son's hair cut by me.
Hell yeah.
I was like, what? That's crazy. So I'm just trying to like be an inspiration to people while also helping him out.
Yeah, of course.
So that's like the kind of right now, and I'm working at the hospital, Mountain View. It's not the greatest, but it's a job. It's got good benefits. But I'm currently waiting for some stuff to go on so I could go work out at the INL.
Hell yeah.
Once I get on at the INL, I'm just going to start saving. Really, the only bill I got is my car and my rent. So once I pay my car off, I'm going to buy a house. My goal is to buy a house in the next 2 to 3 years.
That's badass, bro.
Yep. And then
I'd wait 2 to 3 years for sure, too.
Yeah, they're starting to drop a little bit, but it's rough out here.
Not enough, dude. Shit. Yesterday I called in and they were like, yeah, it's $2,500 for a mortgage payment. I was like, $2,500? Yeah. Where do you think I'm going to get that at?
Ain't nobody got time for that shit right now at our age. Hell no.
I'm like, what do you think I'm earning? Like fucking $10,000 a month or
exactly.
what?
And I had this conversation the other day, man. It's crazy. Like, bro, they cut my hair and I was like, you can't survive with the shit that is out there right now, because he was looking at rent prices and moving out of his dad's, and it's like you can't do anything without a roommate or a significant other right now. That's also so on their own grind.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. I was telling her, I don't like to speak this out into the world, so I'm not going to say the word or anything like that. But I was saying, even if I was to be single, right, and I wasn't to be with her, and let's say we were dating, we broke up, whatever, and we were still having a baby, even then, bro. By me being single, what I earn a month wouldn't even cut it still, right? It doesn't cut it.
My aunt was telling me the other day, she goes, Uncle, he makes $19 an hour, but half of that goes straight to child support, so the motherfucker really only making $9 an hour. I was like, oh, God, I cannot imagine that. Please do not put me in that situation.
Yeah, so it's tough, bro, but, you got to look at it from this point of view, too. It's like we can either sit here and complain about all this BS that's going on around the world, and well, not around the world, but in the country essentially, and get mad at the government, get mad at this, get mad at that person, whatever. Or we can look at it from this and say, okay, you know what? I fucked myself over by getting into this debt, getting into that debt, doing this, making this decision, whatever.
Being accountable.
Right? Take it in. I fucked up. Whatever. Not doing it again. I'm not going to the hospital again, bro, unless I really need to. I went because I thought I had a hernia in my ball sack. I got a fucking x-ray. Bro, I got everything done. I had nothing. You know what they sent me home with? A paper of fucking saying abdominal pain.
Drink some Tylenol.
Yeah, I didn't get abdominal pain. I said my ball sack hurts.
That's some expensive ass Tylenol, Brennan.
Dude, a $6,000 Tylenol. Dude, yeah, shit. Whoever's selling that.
You should have just WebMD'd that bitch.
I know, bro. I should have just slept that night and whatever. It doesn't matter. You know what? I made the mistake. I went. Thank God I didn't have anything. That's a good thing, right? I don't have anything. So now I just have to be accountable and say, I fucked up. And you can look at it like that. I would take accountability and then move forward with your life and say, what I can do is this. And then, build a project, start something for yourself. Yeah. If you don't rely on the government, the best way to do it is to become self-sufficient.
Yep.
And be good with your choices.
You got to hustle, bro. And I'll tell you one of the funniest things ever. And my mom laughs every time she tells this story, bro. I'm a hustler, born through and through. Like, I do whatever I can to make money and succeed. Yeah. When I was fucking 12 years old, I went to Walmart and bought no soliciting signs for 50 cents a piece. Sold every single one of them bitches for $6. I went door to door selling no soliciting signs, and I made like $300 or something like that. And I bought my first Xbox going door to door selling no soliciting signs.
Yeah, hell yeah!
So hustle however you got to. Just make sure you got enough to cover what you got to cover, and then go play after.
I mean, make sure it's legal too. Don't be doing something illegal because then you'll pay it harder.
Well, obviously,
but yeah, just hustle. Yeah, dude, that's all you got to do. I mean, build your own stuff if you don't want to, depend on other people or the government. So
exactly. But what about you guys? I know you guys are expecting. What's your guys' 2 to 5 year plan? What's going on with y'all?
Do you want me to answer this or do you want to answer it?
You can answer it.
All right. 2 to 5 years, bro. Here's a plan. Obviously, we're gonna manifest this shit. So with that being said, there's gonna be some things I'm gonna keep to myself, right? Because you can't put everything
can't give
out
everybody
there.
Your secrets.
Exactly. 2 to 5 years, bro. I'm thinking of, long term is, of course, the project is the podcast, right? Yep. And we'll see where that goes, right? But every multimillionaire, successful person will say this: don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Never,
right?
Absolutely.
So this podcast we're doing it right now, great. I love it. That being said, I do want to change careers because painting, I've been in painting since I was 12, dude.
Yeah.
So almost 10 years. And if I stay in painting, I reach my level of pay.
Yeah.
Unless I have 2 options. I start my own company within painting, or I go out and pursue another career. Yeah. And because I don't like painting as a lifestyle, it's not like I like to go paint. I'm going to pursue another career, and that's something I'm looking into, whether it's real estate or insurance. Yeah. One of those two, because I just believe I'm good with sales, and I love interacting with people, and then based off that, obviously buy a home. There's some things with me that we're gonna work through with regarding some legal things, and so that's the future for us. Is just
you want more kids, or you just gonna have the one, Jackie?
I want more.
She wants more, dude. So maybe have another kid by then.
Yeah, at least another one.
But yeah, dude, that's the plan. Is I want to build something that I can leave behind, not necessarily in finances or wealth, because that'd be great. Don't get me wrong, but something I can leave behind for people. A
legacy.
Yeah, it's gonna be super cool to be able to watch these videos 5 years from now and be like,
oh, absolutely,
damn, dude. What the fuck? I was sitting in a red chair, dude. Remember that? That's going to be badass. And the beautiful thing about that is my kid is going to be able to see that. My kids. And so I want to leave something for them that they can look up and be like, okay, if dad was able to do this, I can do this too.
Exactly.
Because best believe I'm not going to leave my kids with any money.
And that's like one of the biggest things looking back at talking about my fitness journey, man. Like, I want my family to look back and realize like his body failed him at one point and he didn't give up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, absolutely 100%. Cannot give up in life.
Yeah.
On any level, whether it be work, whether it be the gym, whether it be your relationship, whether it be your kids, just be resilient, man, and dig.
Exactly. And that's I think that's the key to life, right? Is finding that within you and then, building that up within you, but also building it around you. Yep. And that's a 2 to 5 year plan for us, is just doing that. And so there's great friendships that will come around, like you're one of them, right? Mm-hmm. That's come around, and
appreciate that, man. Likewise.
Yeah, it's badass to be able to talk to you, meet you finally in person, and then be able to help those friendships grow and build. At the end of the day, if we become wealthy, if I become wealthy and whatnot, it's gonna be boring not to share that with anyone. So I'd rather have a great friend group and share that with, and say, hey, like.
And I'll give you a little bit of something that I kind of live by now, being 5 years older than you. Don't worry about, obviously you got responsibilities.
First of all, you're almost 6 years older than me, right?
You're old. You got a wife and you got a kid on the way. money will come back, Brandon.
Oh yeah.
Money will always come back.
Oh yeah.
The memories and the opportunities and the life choices that you can make now, the traveling, all the small stuff, that won't ever come back, bro. Like your health, it'll be there for quite some time, but like do things. Like go see stuff. Like that's one of the best thing that I can look back. I know I'm only 26, but just looking back at the last 8 years alone, God, I'd have so many regrets if I would have said no to so many more things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing that I keep in mind too, is like it's not all about work and it's not all about, you know,
Never.
pursuing a goal, which is great. I think if you have that mindset of just fucking drive, perfect. But there has to be moments in there where you can just
You got to live.
live.
You got to live for
a little
yourself.
bit,
You got to
know?
live for your wife. You got to live for your kids. Like there's going to be moments that are going to be so hard and your kids are going to be screaming, but you're going to be walking like through some shit like Disneyland or the zoo and you're going to be like, damn, I wish this kid would shut up. But then you'd be like, you know what? I'm in Disneyland.
Yeah.
The sun's nice. The weather's great.
Yep. Look at it from a point of, you know, the point of gratefulness. Just
Exactly.
being grateful. Bro, what's the last message you want to share with all the listeners?
Man, you can do anything. You can do anything you put your mind to. As hard as some days seem, just remember, like I said, if you start the day with a couple victories, you're already succeeding in that day. And no matter what you do in life, hold the people that you love close to you because you never know when something could happen. And do everything you can to be as positive as you can because being negative, it ain't no fun. Just be positive and try to change somebody's life every single day.
Hell yeah. Bro, plug in your Instagram and yeah.
All right. Well, my @ is __Gilk23, GILK23.
There you go. Thank you, brother, for doing this.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming in. This
Absolutely.
was super fun, bro.
I had a blast today.
I think this is the best way to meet each other in person, dude. Just
Oh,
have
it
a
was
genuine
fun.
talk, dude.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
sit down and have a genuine talk. So thank you for coming in.
Absolutely,
I really appreciate
my
it. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Go check us out on Instagram, the OAP official, Brandon A. Lara, Jackie with 3 A's, CKIE _ YouTube, Instagram, or not YouTube, Apple, Spotify, TikTok, Once a Project Podcast. We'll have videos up there. And so, yeah, guys, thank you guys for tuning in again and have a great one. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
And we'll have it back in here for sure, dude. This was fun.
Absolutely. I'd love to.
Yeah, this was great, by the way. Thanks for the drink. Cheers.
One last time. It's delicious.
Delicious, dude. Hell yeah.
Bro, that was fun.
Knock that thing out, dude.